What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Hey, listen, I got a special guest with me today, and we are doing another episode of Wheel of Fragrance. This is episode 2, and we're going to let you guys know how we do this game show. But before we do, as you guys know, I am the scent bubble, bringing you that heat, and I got my co-host with me. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, pothounds and scallywags. He is co-host to the Dope Discussions live show. He is one half of them down 5 boys. He is known as the Dirty South's Dirty Mouth. He is known as Chappie Sinclair. He is known as Alligator Aloysius Peter. But he is better known as the novice nose out here in these fragrant streets. Give it up for your man, just me, Gator Beater, baby. What's going on, everybody out there in Fragrance Land?
Beautiful intro, and let me tell you, from this day forward, that's the intro to beat. For all my future guests. So go ahead and take your notes and come prepared with some heat when I introduce you to the channel, because I expect nothing less. All right, so let's talk about this game show. It's called Wheel of Fragrance. I wanted to introduce this to the community just to bring some entertainment value and some personal touch. Everybody always wants to go on the websites and check, oh, is this clone close to the original? Oh, can I get the price, projection, performance, scenario, all that good stuff? And you know, that's all great. We're all passionate about fragrance, and it's beautiful because at any price point we can all get into the conversation. These days there are so many choices of beautiful fragrances to choose from, and myself and Gator have quite an extensive collection, so we love talking about all that, you know, nitty gritty information as well. But for Wheel of Fragrance, I thought, you know, I want to hear more use case scenarios with fragrances to just bring some entertainment value and to bring some more meaning to fragrance. Because a lot of times when we say fragrances are okay, or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 out of 10, we're not all rocking 10 out of 10 fragrances every single day. There's fragrances that we just enjoy, that grow on us. And so really, you know, learning the personal touch of how we use fragrance in our everyday kind of like normalizes some fragrances that people might rule out. And it also puts you on to new fragrances that maybe you wrote off in the past but are going to reconsider now once, you know, hearing us talk about them. So without further ado, this is Wheel of Fragrance, and this is how we're about to get down. I'm going to spin the wheel, and we're going to land on one of these scenarios that you guys can see here on the screen. Once it hits a scenario such as, let's see, we have office hours, for instance. Gator will have 30 seconds to look and scramble to find the fragrance he will use in the office. And then he'll explain what he chose, why he chose it. And for all you techie nerds out there, I'm going to pull it up on Fragrantica so you can see the notes and all the nitty gritty while he talks about it, so you can kind of get the best of both worlds. We can number crunch, we can info crunch, and we can get that personal touch from Gator giving us his own testimony on the fragrance. We're going to try to go about 3 to 5 rounds. We don't want to talk you to death, but hey, this is our show. And so we're going to go in as long as we feel you guys are entertained. And guys, feel free to jump in on the comments with which fragrances that you haven't heard before that we bring up. If you have a fragrance that you saw on the show, or if you're interested in being a part of the show, we're just contributing to the conversation of fragrance. I've got my clock pulled up right here. I'm ready to go. I got my beverage. I know Gator has his beverage. Any final questions before we get down?
I'm telling you guys now that my fragrances are everywhere around here. So I'm literally going to be trying to beat the clock here. So forgive me if I be like, oh, my knee, coach. I need an extension.
And we're gonna do an extension too. So if for some reason you can't find a fragrance, just yell at the camera extension. I'll run it back for another 30. And either way, we're gonna get a fragrance on the table. So got everything queued up right now. Gator, you ready?
I am ready.
All right, beautiful. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Oh my gosh.
What is this?
And we went back to office hours.
Oh, man. Oh, I actually know exactly what I'm doing with this.
All right, I got the clock running. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Do you need an extension?
No,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
good, man.
Beautiful. So we've got our timer here. Ran a little bit over, but hey, I'm gonna give you a mulligan for our first round. Uh, if we're in office hours, you can specify whether this is suit and tie or more semi-formal, etc. Gator, what you got for us for office hours?
So I wanted to go with something that was going to be kind of semi-formal that could be done as kind of almost like a casual, right? I'm going back to something that I love, right? This is Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir Parfum. Okay. What this is is like an iris and citrus. It's got some citrus at the top and it's got iris in it. It gives like a really buttery type of citrus when it comes into the dry down. When I say that this has a beautiful sillage, it is definitely work appropriate because it's not loud. It doesn't kind of push off your skin.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when you walk by people or when you're interacting with them, it definitely wafts as the day goes on. Has pretty good longevity too. Looking at around 8 to 6, yeah, around 8 hours actually. If you put it on clothes, it'll go a little bit longer. But man, it is beautiful and it's unique as well because you don't see a lot of iris and citrus combos out there. So I love this, man. It works very well in the office, as you can tell, because I got a pretty nice sized dent going on in here.
Is that the Narciso Blue?
Yeah, no, yeah, Narciso Rodriguez, Blue Noir,
Parfum?
Parfum.
Okay. So let me pull that up here. That's a Fermen's fragrance. Got it pulled up here. And as far as the note breakdown, so you think that's pretty dominantly that kind of bergamot, citrus, and iris? What
Yeah,
as
at
far
least at
as
the top. At the top, it definitely is, but it goes into that iris, and it's kind of almost like it's almost like a buttery type of dominant type of iris. It's not like a fresh iris. And then as it dries down further, I mean, you get into a little bit of the powdery. Well, actually, you get powdery from the top, but as it dries down a little bit, you get more into like the woods and things like that. So, I mean, it definitely, I would say you get citrus probably for that first hour and a half to 2 hours before it kind of goes into more of the buttery iris of this thing.
and I'm listen, when I look at this note breakdown, I'm loving a few things. I love the citruses up top. I love the combination of Cyrus and cedar going against that citrus just to kind of
Yeah,
make it zesty. But then you got suede paired with that iris. And listen, I'm a fanatic for some suede. And then usual suspect in the base, vetiver. Absolutely love how that kind of
I
complicates
didn't even
and
want to mention the vetiver because I knew you were gonna love that part.
oh my gosh. Vetiver suede, it's got leather, and then the usual suspects with tonka beans, sandalwood, cedar on the bottom. This sounds like a very well sophisticated fragrance with just some very good dimension to it. And is it now? Give me an age range.
I would say this is definitely for someone, late 20s, like I'm talking about 28, 29 on up
Okay.
on this one. You mean you kind of pushing it with that 28, 29. This is for just distinguished. This is for somebody who actually will wear a tie to work
Okay.
from time to
Okay.
time.
And can it go outside the office?
So this can definitely go outside the office, but I think that if you're gonna wear it outside the office, this is more for like a dinner type scenario. I'm going out to dinner
Upscale
with some
dinner.
folks, it's gonna be a more intimate setting, like a little lounge party or something like that. It definitely works for that.
Okay. Perfect. And then lastly, what can we look at for price on that?
So this one ranges if you're going through discounters, which of course we all are,
Of course
right?
we are. Yeah.
I mean, you're looking somewhere in the range of about $60, 60, maybe up to 70 for this one
And
for a 3.4.
has anybody tried to clone that yet?
Not yet. Not yet. But I don't know why. because and maybe it's because the price point is so low right now for them. I
Gotcha.
don't know. The EDT and the EDP for the Narciso Rodriguez Blue Noir are more popular, but all they had to tell me was this had iris in it, and I was all on board for it, and that was the best decision I made, man.
Uh, I'm like I said, I'm looking at that DNA and it looks very appetizing, and I've already written that down because I'm going after that next for the channel. It
Oh
looks
yeah.
like a beautiful bottle presentation as well, nice and clean, parfum concentration. Hey, listen, man, you made it through round one. How you feeling?
Oh, feeling pretty good. The knees holding up.
You got your Ben Gay on standby.
Right. It's sitting there. It's another room right now.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick it off with round 2. We're gonna give it a spin right now. Ooh. Okay. 50 and up.
Got that.
Clock started.
Got that. Automatic. All right.
And we just hit 30. Beautiful.
All right.
All right. So for 50 and up, this has some versatility to it because we haven't really
does.
brought up the actual occasion. So just as far as fragrance selection, we're selecting a fragrance that is mature in a nutshell. So what do you got for us?
Yeah. I actually had an honorable mention on this one, but this is the choice, right? This is Jacques Bogart. Pour
Spell
on
it for me.
right here. Let me try to see if I can put it up to the bottom. Right here. Or Bogart. Pour on.
Let me see. Oh yeah, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, man, is a really mature fragrance. I think it came out in like the early 2000s. But it's beautiful. I wear this sometimes when I go to bed. Like, this
Okay.
is a tobacco and honey, right? It's not a Naxos type of vibe though. It's
I
more of
might
the
have the wrong one pulled up. Can you see what I got
No,
on my
that's the right
screen?
one. That's the right one.
Oh, okay. Because I don't see the tobacco notes written here, but you're saying it smells very tobacco-y?
It's very,
Okay.
very, and I'm surprised that it doesn't because if you look at the breakdown on, oh man, it's good. If you look at the breakdown on, like I think on Amazon or some of the other folks, it does show tobacco, and maybe my memory's gone, but you get that type of vibe. This is more of a honey, it's like a sweetened powderiness to it. It is very much old school. This is like we're talking like not that the 90s is old school, man. Dang, man. But this is
I know
this is
some
like
people on my
late
channel who would argue with you on it.
this is late 80s, early 90s perfumery and older. This could actually go for back then, but it is a beautiful scent. It is a definite older, more mature vibe for it. Believe it or not, I've worn this out before and gotten compliments on this. Now, it was at the bingo hall, but I got compliments on it.
Hey, listen, man, we got to get compliments while we playing bingo.
Exactly. But no, man, I got this from my dad actually. For his birthday back in April, and he absolutely loves this stuff. His wife absolutely loves it. Man, they fell in love with this stuff.
Now, tobacco and honey. So there's two things I got to ask. When we talk about tobacco, it's kind of like you kind of have two representations. You have fragrances that are super tobacco forward, and then you have
Yeah.
fragrances that are kind of just brushed with some smoky tobacco on there. Is this aggressive with that, or like
This
basically
is
what shows forth more, the honey or the tobacco?
this is more brushed.
Okay.
This is more brushed. You get a lot of woody nuance in this thing. I mean, when I say that, you're getting a lot of you're getting a good bit of the honey at the top, but you're getting a little brush of the tobacco, and it's mostly wood after that. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, but it plays so well in the air, especially. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'll wear this stuff to sleep, man, because it's got this relaxing vibe to it, as well, man. The old school bottle, that's also a plus.
Beautiful. Yeah, I like the bottle presentation. That's dope. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, for 50 and up, we've got Bogart Pour Homme by Jacques Bogart.
Oh, $20.
Oh, wow.
$20
Shoot.
online.
Hey, I'm gonna write it down as well, man, because I ain't 50, but I'm pushing up there. So I
Hey
might.
man, it's weird because, and I was joking about the bingo hall thing. I've actually gotten compliments out there. Of course, the Walmart soda aisle. You know how it goes out there. Um, you know how it goes.
I
But
do.
man, but yeah, it actually, I'm not exactly sure what it is about this fragrance that has that is kind of like captivating to some people, man. But it's good.
Yeah, and it seems fairly straightforward, man. Tobacco and honey on woods, man. At that point, it's just how smooth is the formulation. It sounds pretty smooth. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, it's always good to get a good tobacco fragrance as well, because I feel like in the fragrance community, even clone or not, it's very hit or miss. And I don't even know if it's hit or miss. It's more preferential. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Based off how much concentration people like and whatnot. But it definitely sounds like something up my alley. But beautiful selection. We are going to move on to round 3. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get it. Round 3. Go to vetiver fragrance.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Bro, I don't even have to move at this point.
Yeah, I'm starting you up. Let's get it. Oh, you just got it right on deck. Okay, well,
Shout
let me
out to
stop the clock.
shout out to Vibrant Vetiver Delight.
Oh, okay.
Because I got that looking at me over there, looking a little crazy at me.
So honorable mention.
Yeah. But yeah.
What you got for us?
Vetiver Sensual, man.
Oh, Vetiver
that's,
Sensual by Mancera. Beautiful choice.
I mean, the thing that is so beautiful about this fragrance is the way that they introduce the vetiver. Yeah, the vetiver's cool, and the vetiver's actually not as like overpowering on this thing anyway. It's the entry to the vetiver. It's that lime that they have. It's a beautiful, like sparkly lime at the top of this thing that just kind of pulls you into it and just kind of introduces you to that vetiver, man. It is beautiful. This is
Now,
a
I always tell folks that vetiver can be earthy, inky, soapy clean. It can be earthy. I mean, vetiver can just go the gambit, man. It can just trail
Yeah.
across so many different things because it's a more earthy note. But the way that it's extracted and what it's paired with really kind of makes it come alive in a certain way that's very unique from fragrance to fragrance. And I can see here that with lime, lemon, bergamot, and orange, you just got a lot of citruses coming off that. Is it clean? Is it zesty? What is it?
This is more of a clean type of vetiver. I guess you could say it has a little zest to it, but I think that's more of the citrus playing into it. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as far as the way that this vetiver presents in here, it is a very clean type of vetiver, not even soapy in the way that it's presented. It's a very, very clean vetiver. It's almost like a dry type of vetiver in there. The rest of the fragrance around it jazzes up the vetiver, which I
Okay.
like because that just means that it's just super well blended, man.
Oh yeah, and then just the dimension to it alone as well. I mean, and it's sitting on woods and amber, but then you got instances of orchid and mint in there. You got
Yeah,
pepper. Do you get a vetiver bite on the back end of it?
you do. You do. You do.
Okay.
To the point to where I nobody considers this a fougere,
Okay.
right? But it has that type. If we were to talk about modern fougere, I would put my hand up and say maybe vetiver sensual is that.
Just more
It's
modern.
we don't talk about it that way, but I think that you could pass this as a modern fougere just because of the way that it presents itself.
And that's interesting too, because, and I definitely want to do a separate video on that sometime, because every time people say fougere, they think old school. And
Yeah,
it's like, well, I get that from the note standpoint in terms of like, the greenness or the barbershopness or the woodiness.
yeah,
But the way fragrances bounce off other notes and stuff, and just how they're extracted and whatnot, and just the freshness elements, and and what else is being brought to the table and how more complex it is. You know, a lot of old school fougères are more simple.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that conversation. I think fougère sometimes throws the younger audience off because they immediately think they're going to get some type of barbershop scent. But that's not the case with a lot of like modern fougères, and there's a lot to choose
Right.
from that are really doing some intricate stuff. The one thing
Yeah.
I can see here that I really like to be kind of ageless is you have tons of citruses up top, right? And that is just such a common thing
Yeah.
for a lot of fresh fragrances for the young people, is that you just kind of have this assortment of fresh, zesty citrus up top. It's sitting on fairly normal linear backbone, you know, with vetiver, wood, musk, oak moss, and amber. Like those are usual
Hmm.
suspects for a lot of fragrances. But then it's got nuance to it with the peppermint and orchid.
Yeah.
And so this strikes me as, even if it is fougere, it must be just super modern and fresh. And
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about that fragrance. Give me a use case. Where are you wearing it?
Man, this is actually office safe. This is a fragrance, and I'm going to use this a lot. This is a fragrance that you want to be downwind from. This is something where if you go out to a party or something like that, or I know you used the yacht party
Mm-hmm.
analogy before. This is a yacht party type of fragrance.
Mm.
This is one of those, and the crazy part about it is that it doesn't like project a whole lot, but it does have a very beautiful sillage on that thing. So if, like I said, if you're downwind from it, you smell it, and it's just got this really captivating type of scent to it once you like catch it in the air, man.
I love
Oh,
fragrances that have more allure than
yeah,
projection, if that makes any sense. I want
yeah,
somebody to catch a waft and then it make them have to stop everything they're doing because there's intrigue there, and it makes them want to get close to you and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
Those are the fragrances that you get compliments on. It's rarer that you get a compliment from a fragrance that's just shooting across the room, and then somebody's gonna walk through all that dust when it
right,
settles and be like, "Oh, I love what you've got on." You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
I
Oh, by the
it's
way, we were talking about Fugeris just a second ago. I mean, two of the highest selling fragrances out there on the market are classified as fougères. And I'm talking about Dior Sauvage,
mm,
EDP, and I'm talking about Y Le Parfum.
mm,
If you look at their breakdowns on Fragrantica and everything, they classify both of those fragrances as fougères.
okay.
So I mean, it's still out there. I think that the classification of fougere is in the process of being kind of updated. So when we think fougere, we're like, okay, well, old school. But these fragrance brands, they're just copying the blueprint of fougere and putting it out there. So
Yeah, and I think woods and greenery are the backbone of so many fragrances.
hmm
And so I think what classifies something as older school fougere is more of a simpler rendition of woods and greenery.
yeah,
Whereas once you start complicating the layer buildup, you know, whether that's with citruses or florals or spices and herbs and things like that, that's when it's kind of more upscale fougere. And when you get into
right,
that category, really it's just a matter of maturity. You know, is this something that an older man or a younger male would wear based off of use case? You know what I'm saying? How serious does it
exactly.
smell? Is it playful or whatever? But I think this is probably going to be very versatile for most people. Now, one more question I wanted to ask you. How does it fare against some of our usual suspects in terms of vetiver fragrances, such as your Terre d'Hermes, um, your what's the classic one, the classic trio for vetivers, the Encre
You got
Noir
Guerlain,
line. You got Guerlain.
this
Yeah, there's so many. Also Tom Ford, Grey Vetiver. Where does it sit
guy,
around? Mm-hmm.
Encre Noir,
Lagstrom. Mm-hmm.
Extreme, yeah.
Where does it
So
fare around those?
to me, I think that vetiver sensual is more versatile. I think it could be used in more settings. I think it is more mass appealing than those because I believe that they are more keyed in on the vetiver note. I feel like vetiver sensual isn't actually keyed in on the vetiver. I feel like they took vetiver as a base, and then they just built everything around it, and they wanted to put a whole bunch of superstars in the cast
Mm-hmm.
of that particular production. And that's what they did with that lime and with the oak moss and the different woods and the mint and all of those things. They just did all that, but you got some vetiver in it.
Right. Right.
With like Guerlain vetiver, that's literally vetiver.
Right.
And then we got a couple of people that are supporting it, you
Yeah,
know.
it's like the
So
difference between a vetiver fragrance that's sitting around the 60-70% forwardness of the composition versus 30 to 50. It's still
right,
very much there and in the conversation, but it's not the star of the show. It is accompanying an assortment of note profiles. So, and
exactly.
that's a good thing. And honestly, I'm here for both of them. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
I like all of it. But yeah, Vetiver Sensual by Mincera, guys. Listen, that sounds like a phenomenal fragrance. I'm definitely gonna have it on the show soon, and you guys got to get your nose on it. I think we got
discounters,
discounters.
$70, $80, somewhere in that range.
Oh, say less, say less. We're
Oh yeah,
getting it. I think we got enough for about one more round. You ready?
oh yeah.
All right. Hey, again, this is the scent bubble rocking with Gator, the novice knows, and we are on the final round. Let's see what we got.
All right, we've got.
Ooh, cold weather beast.
Say less.
All right, timer's up. Let's go.
All right. All right.
And 30. Just in time. What you got for us for a cold weather beast of a fragrance?
Man, I got too many in this particular scenario, man. But I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna cheat on this one a little bit because I'm gonna go with two.
Okay.
This one. This is called Ragba Wood Intense. So this is scary. this
It
this
looks
fragrance
scary.
is scary. It is beautiful and it's scary. It is the strongest smoke and incense and wood. It is a super smoky wood, basically, is what it is. And I want to say it's Gaiac. I think it's Gaiac wood. And then
You're right.
on here, it's got this caramel note in the top, man. It's a sugary, sweet, very potent. I that's not even a that's an understatement. This is one of the first fragrances that I legitimately was like, that's a freaking 24-hour fragrance.
Wow. It looks
It
like it. I mean, dude, let me just read these notes for the people. Top notes of caramel, licorice, Gaiac wood, and cedar. And if that ain't enough, in the heart, we got sugar cubes, agarwood oud, sandalwood, and cashmere wood. In the base, we got incense, vanilla, amber, oak moss, and musk. This, it seems like the man's man bomb.
it is. It is definitely that, man. And I wish that you guys could feel this bottle. It's got like this wood grain aspect to the bottle here.
It'll
Um,
fit right next to you on the glove compartment in the expedition.
Basically, that's perfect. That is the perfect, bro. That's what this is. This is a monster. I've worn this, and the dent is a little. There's a little bit of a dent, but I've had this like 2 years. This thing is a monster. Like when you spray this on, this is a two spray. That's it. You can't go past. We were talking about Atlas not too
Oh
long ago,
gosh.
and how Atlas is so strong. Latafa didn't just start. By the way, this is Latafa.
Okay.
They didn't just start with Atlas with these super strong scents. This one here is like nuclear.
Okay.
This is not safe for office wear. It is not safe. And
This sounds
trust
like
me,
a
I know.
fragrance you got to wear outside on the windiest day around a fire and
This is specially made for the cold. This is especially made for, oh, we're going to be outside today. We're going to the Christmas pageant. We're watching the people caroling and they're putting up the Christmas tree. Let's go ahead and spray this on so I can get my caramelly new sun. Now, don't get me wrong. The sillage in the air on this thing is magical.
Is it gourmandy?
It is gourmandy. It is
Okay.
like, well, I mean, at the top, it's
Okay.
gourmandy.
I imagine if I was on a snowboard going down a hill, everybody on the mountain would smell me on this.
They would. They would. They definitely
The people
would.
carting to the top, the people I'm flying by, the people at the coffee down at the base. I mean,
Man, the crazy part about it is you just want to smell it. And it's so weird because you don't want to spray it because you know it's never going away. But you want to at least, like, I keep taking the top of it off and smelling it. If you ever buy a bottle, by the way, this is $20 as well.
Beautiful.
And I mean, you can go on Amazon and get this for like 20.
Okay.
If you ever smell it, you'll be doing the same thing. You'll just be, because it's beautiful. It's caramel. It's sugary caramel and wood.
Then you got incense and woods. I mean, it's basically lighting a vanilla caramel incense.
Man, and it's super sexy. Don't get me wrong. It has that vibe. They can find you very sexy with this fragrance, but they have to stand 6 feet away from you.
Okay. What's the age range on this?
Oh man, this is, man, you've got to be 25 and up. Because it can go for a younger crowd. It has that type of like sweetness to it. It's fun. It's a fun, playful type of sweetness, but it's deep.
Right.
And it's kind of, it's weird because it's so strong though that you can't enjoy it unless you're outside.
Yeah, you're aerating.
Right, basically. Yeah.
That's what's up. And then what's your second selection?
The second one, man, I gotta go with my guy, man. The Virtus Vanilla Oud.
Okay.
Man, y'all see the dent on this thing, man. This is a beautiful. This fragrance here knows how to cut through cold as well. This one is just exactly what it says it is. It's oud and vanilla. And it is a beautiful rendition of both of those things, man. And it is a strong, it is a powerful fragrance.
Look at the notes on this. The notes on here could fill up a 300-page novel. Yeah. On top, we got saffron, apple, rhubarb, bergamot, mid, agarwood oud, saffron, cashmere, rose, jasmine, violet, cyclamen, base, vanilla, oud, caramel, tonka bean, gaiac wood, cedar, sandalwood, musk, patchouli, and vetiver. What are the dominant notes in this fragrance?
Vanilla and oud. The agarwood and the vanilla. So I see all of the notes in there. You get a little bit of the bergamot.
Okay.
But for the most part, it is blended so well that you really catch the smokiness of that agarwood. Well, more of the woodiness of that agarwood. And then you get that vanilla on the undertone. I don't know if you've ever smelled Baby Cat. It's a similar type of vibe to that. I just feel like this is more wood dominant than the Baby Cat would be.
Okay. And what are we looking at for price for something like this?
About $120 on discounters.
Okay. And and use cases?
So this for me is definitely date night. This is now because it's not as potent as this one. So, but it cuts through the cold. So this would be a nice, okay, we're going out, we're gonna take a little walk in this brisk wind. Let's walk around on the pier or something like that. It will definitely cut through that breeze, man, and it gives a beautiful sillage on it too.
How are those florals, man? I mean, they got rose, saffron, jasmine, violet, and cyclamen. Does that pop through at all, or does that just make it a lighter, fresher fragrance?
It makes it lighter and fresher. The saffron you pick up a little bit of. The rose, you get so used to smelling rose oud combos that it's almost like they get synonymous with each other. So you don't really think about the fact that, I'm picking up rose, but you do get some rose in there. I think that rose is just there really to almost kind of thicken up and kind of like settle down the oud that's in there because it's not a barnyardy oud, but it's a strong one.
Okay. Well, shoot, man. Hey, listen, you putting me onto some new stuff, and I like that we got some more varied choices on this round. We got to get some different perspective on cold and whatnot. We got the office in there. Listen, guys, this is the Wheel of Fragrance, man. This is a fun time. I could literally do this all night. And like I said, as
Oh
we
yeah,
progress, we're going to start doing some one versus one where both of us go get fragrance. We're going to do some two versus two Hollywood Squares type stuff where I throw four people in the conversation and we all just bounce back and forth and argue and throw trash at each other. And you know what I mean? And have
yeah.
a good time. But, listen, I've really appreciated the time on here. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. Again, this is just a way of bringing some entertainment value while we educate you guys on our passion of fragrance. Make sure you're contributing into the conversation by letting us know if you've heard of these fragrances, if you currently have them in your selection, if you have anything like them, and what your feedback is on the overall experience of this Wheel of Fragrance, because this game show style is here to stay for a while.
Oh yeah.
And again, I appreciate you, Gator, for being on. Just to let you guys know where you can find us, I am the Scent Bubble. You can find me on YouTube, and then using my other socials, which aren't the Scent Bubble yet. You can find them on my section under Conscience, and you can find me everywhere. But that's all on my channel, and you can find all that good stuff. Gator, let them know where they can find you at.
Hey man, I am the Novice Knows on all platforms. Instagram, TikTok, I believe I'm on there now. Although I don't post a whole lot on TikTok, but that's gonna change. And of course on YouTube here you can find me. I post usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays and just randomness on the daily about my sense of the day. So, just look me up, The Novice Knows, KNOWS.
And I'm always, especially now, but I'm always tagging him in different conversations and whatnot. So we'll definitely put you guys on and look in the description of the video. I'll link you guys to his socials and channel as well. Any final thoughts, Gator, on the experience of doing Wheel of Fragrance? Because I know you have wheels that you use to pick your fragrances,
Oh
but
yeah.
how is it like in kind of the game show setting? How was your
I,
first
I
time with it?
love it in the game show setting, man, because like you said, I use my wheels to pick fragrances every day for what I'm gonna wear. That's to kind of get my wife involved in my fragrance journey, man. I just like hold it up. It's like, okay, what we're picking today, and it just rolls out, and so this is a great concept. To me, I think this is fun. This also is kind of informative for everybody that's actually watching because they may not know what to wear on a date. They may
Right,
not know
right.
what's a good fragrance to get their dad who's above 50, like mine is. So, I think this is a great concept, man. I just
And
was
I'm
running out of like I had so many fragrances for that last one
right.
that I was like, oh man, because I got Precious Oud sitting there, which is my banger fragrance from Mancera. It's like, oh man, which one do I get? But yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing like giveaways where we decant fragrances that we show on the episode
Oh
from
yeah.
my collection to different viewers and stuff, and even doing viewer submitted wheels that we can do as far as topics and stuff like that. So if anyone's
Now that would be
interested,
cool.
yeah, if anyone's interested in collaborating or contributing even to the Wheel of Fragrance so we can make it an even better game show, I'm soon going to be introducing sound effects and all that. Right now, we're kind of just test running the episode, and I really like what we have so far. So we're going to be looking to make different additions to that. But appreciate your thoughts on the game show and participating with us. Again, I am the Scent Bubble. This is the Novice Knows, and we are bringing you that fragrance conversation all day, every day on YouTube. And we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Hey, y'all have a blessed one, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace out.